Hello, chat. We are ready. We are live. We have April's Omnibus hearing going forward. And I'm just going to make sure I don't have my audio on. Audio, test speaker, test mic. I don't think I'm on. Don't allow. There we go. I think we're all set. Hold on real quick. All right. So we are getting ready for April's Omnibus. Now, it's interesting, chat. There are some things to this we were not prepared for. Well, I didn't know about at the time. A little lazy for me, but we will get to it. So, no, we have not missed the Omnibussing. A little updates on things. Kayla has not lost hers yet. The judge is taking it under advisement, so we'll find out what happens. We'll find out what happens today. So, why did Kayla have to appear? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why your attorneys worked that out. You know, I got no idea for you guys. I don't really know. Sometimes it happens. Now we are set to go on, and we are ready for the bussins of the Omnis. And we have joined our audio. We've joined the audio. Learn how to prevent access to the microphones. What? Wait, what's going on here? What's going on here? More settings, audio, test speaker. All right, so I think we should. Chat, did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear all that or no? Like, and I'm not trying to be an ass. Did you hear all that noise? Did you hear the do noise? Okay, good. Good. I think we're all set then. We should be ready to hear the case. I think we're unmuted. I joined the audio, although it's saying, here, hold on. We're going to refresh this and come back in. I don't know what the hell just happened. And we are going to, join audio by computer. Oh, we're not doing speaker. Nope. We're not starting video, audio settings. Okay, I think we're all set. Because now I see the audio down below. Yeah, but I don't need to prevent access to my microphone. So I think we're okay. I think we're ready to go. Yeah, guys, it's not started till 3:30. No, do not go on there and fuck with this, guys. Do not fuck with this. Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure that was all set. So, guys, what happened in the meantime? April's attorney filed a motion to dismiss.
Good afternoon. We have a Samson device. It's a Samson SM-S.
Well, I can hear that. So here we go.
906U. Can you please unmute? Are you here for a particular hearing or are you just observing today?
Anyway, so apparently we can hear everybody. Angela, who are these people?
Samson device. Are you just observing today?
There are multiple people on the docket.
No, ma'am, I'm here for a hearing.
Okay, yep, and I do have you checked in.
Okay.
So there are people here for hearings of their own besides April. And
do we have a Dylan Lesnow check or on Zoom yet? I know we have a lot of observers here, but Angela. I'm looking for a Dylan Lesnow.
Okay. Anyway, Angela, April is the girlfriend.
I just spoke to Dylan maybe 5 minutes ago on the phone.
I gotta mute these people.
And he was calling for the meeting ID and passcode, so he should be joining.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
I just stop talking. Stop talking. All right. So if you guys are unfamiliar with April, April is the girlfriend / live-in nanny / coke aficionado that hangs out with Nick Rekieta from Rekieta Law. She was formerly the wife of Aaron Imholte from the Steel Toe Morning Show, but in the meantime, her April, Kayla Rekieta, and Nick Rekieta have been absorbed into a drug-fueled polycule since like January, and Aaron left in April. So they've been doing coke and being complete morons for the past, I don't know, 6-7 months. And April was indicted. Well, she was indicted. She received felony charges for possession of cocaine. Now, not to the same level that Nick had or Kayla had, where they're facing 25 years of prison, but she is facing a 5th-degree felony. It's the lowest level charge. Anyway, Chad Zumach's in here. Yeah, that was funny. Hi, Chad. So, on civil, is April claiming at the house she has standing? Not necessarily, and we're going to get to that real quick here. So, and Kurt, if you want a link, I could send it to you. Hold on here. Guys, Kurt over at Uncivil Law. Great guy. Great channel. Covers all kinds of things. But let's get to what April's doing. April is challenging it in a different way than Nick is. This is not a Frank's motion. This is actually a different bit of an issue here. And ultimately, guys, remember, the prosecution might need time to respond, or they might go forward. It depends. They've already done a lot of prep on this for Nick's case. So through April's attorney, and this is for her case here, and this is the Kandiyohi County Court, versus April Imholte. Now, what are they arguing? The complaint does not comply with the Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure. Now, what are they doing? Well, they are arguing the complaint fails to establish probable cause to believe that April committed an offense. They're also arguing that under the 5th and 6th Amendments, they want a dismissal because for lack of sufficiency, or they want the government to give them a bill of particulars. Now, what's a bill of particulars, chat? A bill of particulars is where the government has to explain what's going on and actually articulate how you committed the crime, if that makes sense. So a bill of particulars doesn't have to say April did this, then she did this, and this, and this, but they have to explain, okay, she possessed the cocaine, we believe, because we could show that credit cards in her name were found with cocaine residue on them, found next to a snort tube full of cocaine, found literally in the room where 26 grams of cocaine were located. They have to explain how they can sustain each charge and how they plan to show each element of the charge. Now, like I said, they don't have to write it out like it's a massive story, but they do show it, and that's what a bill of particulars does. Now, that's actually not an obscene request, getting a bill of particulars. They'll probably grant that. I would assume that gets granted.
You think so?
Yeah,
it's pretty unusual to get a bill of particulars granted.
I mean, I would say in Ohio you have the right to ask for them under the criminal rules. Yeah, I mean it all depends. I mean, like it's nothing wrong with that. Although the prosecutor may stand up and say, "Look, judge, here it is. Boom, 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 done." And
yeah, exactly. I'll just tell you, like here it is. That's what we saw.
She had cocaine. Yes.
That's what we saw in the Sarah Boone trial, where it's like you're asking for a Boone bill of particulars, like, okay.
Yes.
And the prosecutor just gets up like, okay, here's your bill of particulars. I'm just telling you what it is.
Yes. So it all depends. And I will say in the case with April here, they've already done with Nick. So they know the case pretty well because they had to write a massive motion to respond to Nick.
Yeah.
Now,
but what is real critical to me is not only is she not filing the Franks, she's also not filing the sufficiency, which means that because in order to do either one of those, she has to claim that she lives there. Otherwise, she doesn't have standing.
Yes.
So she's not claiming that she lives there.
Yes.
So now she's just back to okay, the information is insufficient.
Yes, she has to.
Even if that's true, your remedy is here's a revised information.
Yes. But here's the thing, if she admitted to all of that, then she's liable for the 25 grams of cocaine, not just a little bit they found.
That's correct.
Near her.
That's true.
So,
I didn't say it didn't come with downsides.
yes, there's a massive downside. If April says, "Oh, I live in the home," which remember, Nick said she's a friend visiting, and April said Kayla said she's the living nanny, and there are people spurging out on guys. Oh my God, people are being fucking idiots over in the Zoom. I can hear it running. So,
Oh dear.
yeah.
What else is new?
Oh God, it's awful. So, Kakeda says you two nerds are Jamaican me crazy. Oh, here we go, chat. We're going right to it. They asked if we're ready for Imholte.
I am.
That's April's attorney.
He's
and
a
there's
nice
the prosecutor up there.
How you doing, counselor? He's a happy guy.
I think we are scheduled for an omnibus hearing on Ms. Imholte's case.
Here we go, chat.
And Mr. Gallagher is here on her behalf. Ms. Pierce is here for the state. Mr. Gallagher, how would
Ask
you
for
like to
correction
go
of her
forward?
name. It's Miss Anderson.
Your Honor, I did file motions last night that were logged in this morning by court administration and would be requesting a contested omnibus setting.
All right. You're going to be looking for testimony?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
All right, let's just figure out how much time we need to set aside, and then we'll get a date.
Oh, okay. So nothing's gonna happen.
I would
today,
guess
really,
an
chat.
hour maybe.
We'll see where April's at. That'll be the best thing.
I don't think it would take more than that.
Well, he filed
All
at the
right,
last
set it
minute,
for an
chat.
hour. Let's see if we can find a date. I assume we don't have any trouble with time limits.
We would waive any time limits, Your Honor, on the defense side.
Your Honor,
Yes.
the following matter has been assigned with Judge Wenzel.
Okay.
I'm looking for a date now.
Where's April? So
Judge Wenzel. So that's the same judge, right, as the other judge, which makes more sense.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense. They come out of the same conduct, the same course of action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes entirely
Same
sense.
Same judge oversees all the related cases.
Yes. Let's see April. I want to see her pop up on screen. Where is she at? Guys, this is the judge who's over presiding the omnibus hearing here. And then we've got, that's a prosecutor. The one who's already felt to
How you
Nick.
doing, prosecutor? Are you having a good day?
She felt to Nick in the Barnes Walker.
Your Honor, I'm looking at January 15th
Oh,
at 11 o'clock.
damn.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah.
That works for the state.
Is there anything on the following week?
Oh,
Any
jeez.
chance?
We're kicking this out a while, man.
Yeah, it's kind of normal, to be honest.
I have January 21st at 9 a.m.
I mean, to be fair, my schedule's kind of getting booked up at this point.
Anything later in the day than that, possibly?
I have a 9 through 11, so I could do a 10 a.m.
Could we do that? I would appreciate 10 a.m.
10 a.m. would work.
Well, of course, you guys are right there. It always works
Okay, I
for the
think we said the
prosecutor.
21st at 10 a.m. Anything else this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
Stone
thank you.
Gloves, you, April. Keep your head up, dear.
Yeah, I think it's proof that April
Observer,
Imholte, men will willing to burn down the world for a Minnesota
Please
6.
remove him from the courtroom, whoever the observer is that's
Help
speaking.
me.
Jesus Christ.
All right, thank you very much. The matter is adjourned.
Observer, can you just
thank you,
ban the
Your Honor.
judge? He's annoying.
Where's April? We didn't get to see April.
Your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit!
Who is speaking?
Sir, can you just leave? We're gonna take over now. Thank you.
Yeah, April's a whore. I still like you, April. I'm sorry.
Holy shit!
Is this
You good, Judge? You seeing it? You using your eyeballs?
Just tell me your name, sir.
Yeah.
Is this B. LaRue? Is that you?
Oh, I'm not Balin LaRue.
That was Nicholas Rekieta. That's Nicholas Rekieta. Bill Schultz is homeless.
Connor or Mary, can you speak?
You will not ban me from speaking. This is America.
Hold on,
holy shit,
sir.
I don't know you, but I am finding you.
I will not stand for this.
I am finding you.
Even though I'm sitting right now. Oh, you're gonna. God. What courthouse am I in?
You're in his courthouse. You're making an appearance in his courthouse. You're making an appearance in his courthouse as we speak. He can absolutely find you in contempt.
Stop. What about April being a whore? Like, does she need to be punished for her whore activities?
Holy shit, dude.
Oh my God. Oh God.
And I hope they do find you in contempt. I hope they find you in contempt. I hope they drag you into the courthouse.
If he's not in Minnesota,
put you in jail.
They can do.
I'll go to wherever our state is. I'll extradite it myself personally. Just tell me where he lives.
Judge Nutsind.
I'm gonna put everyone except the participants back in the waiting room.
Oh God.
Too many people disturbing the proceeding. I can't really tell who they are. And so
we all got nuked. Good job. Good job.
Good job.
That was awful. Yes, April didn't get to show up on screen, which I think is a big problem. I wanted to see yours from Nick's studio again. She was? I couldn't see her. Yeah, well, that could have been also any April Imholte, though. So I'm not sure. 2.0 said, yeah, her name was up there, but that didn't mean anything. Oh, God. Well, that was fun.
Have you gone over Kayla's omnibus yet?
Her omnibus was just the one. It was just a very short filing. We can go over it in a second. But
she moved to dismiss on the basis of sufficiency, which is, an argument that we could at least try to.
Cause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here we're going to get through April's first. This is April. She's attacking the probable cause of the affidavits themselves, the offenses itself. So they say the probable cause statements, and that's a statement to say whether or not the crimes were committed. And they point out here the complaint is accessible to the public. A document supporting the statement of probable cause can contain irrelevant material that is injurious to innocent third persons, as well as prejudicial material to a defendant's right to a fair trial. And they're pointing out that the statement should be drafted to contain the facts to establish the cause and the complaint, and that irrelevant material be omitted. All right. So they get to the statement of probable cause for April, and April's name is only mentioned 5 times in the statement of probable cause. And that is, they list the 5 times. Now, it's located in the home, located in the master bedroom. The credit card's listed to April. Her purse is located in the hallway inside the master bedroom. And then Nick indicated April was at the home visiting. Now, that's not all of it, because Kayla also said April was their live-in nanny, which he kind of forgot that one. And you're just like, what about that part? Because that's very critical to this case, did she live in the house? And I think there's a lot of evidence to show she has lived in the house. And April, and I know Nick thought it was funny to make those jokes of April being on camera in Nick's studio. That's a great way to show, why are you in their house? Because you live there. Why are you in their house at this point? Well, once again, this is not good for April in that regard. So hold on, why is this not pulling up here? Hold on, chat. So this is the complaint from April. It's her complaint here. So the 5th degree possession of drugs. She could face up to 5 years in prison. So the statement of probable cause. And from here, we've got, and let's go through the paragraphs here. Where do we see April's name show up at all? So upon entry, they found Kayla and April and 4 juveniles in the home. Kayla and April were located in the master bedroom. Yep. So from there, they talk about the times where things were found. The credit cards from Imholte, and they were found on the master bedroom near the nightstand. So that's the credit cards, the snort tube, and the black vial containing cocaine. And that's the little bit they're probably charging her with, if I had to guess, based on everything we could figure out.
Pretty much.
Yep. Now, from there, April's purse is located in the hallway outside the master bedroom, leading to the attached bathroom. So, Pomplin met with Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta indicated that April was visiting. Now, it's interesting because...
Is it possible to charge both Nick and Kayla and April with possession of whatever amount of cocaine was inside that snort tube or vial that were on top of the credit cards at the same time?
Yeah.
Because
they're all in possession. It's all dominion and control. They all have access to it. I mean, Nick already says Nick was spotted in April's camp before the stream started. Okay. I didn't see it. So,
okay.
Anyways, we'll go back and check. Somebody may have caught it. And Monrez is saying rejoin. Well, the April's hearing's over, so there's probably nothing else at this point. Everything got set, so we're not going to go back. People have already fucked that up. So we're just...
So just so I make sure that I've got this right, we can charge Nick with the possession of the drugs in the safe because it's his house. But we can't charge April with possession of the drugs in the safe because it's not her house and there's no evidence.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to show. Because remember, Nick has said she was at home visiting right here.
Right.
But then you have Kayla saying that Kayla informed CPS that April is the live-in nanny. Now, if you notice, when April's attorney said this thing out, the probable cause statement, that whole thing is not there. Notice he omits that fact.
Yeah, but when it comes down to trial, you're not going to be able to use that because it's hearsay. And Kayla's not going to take the stand. So
Children's Services will be able to say, "What were you told?"
That's hearsay,
and they are going to be able to say present sense impression, effect on the hearer.
Bullshit.
There's ways you
what
can
I
get
said
it
to
in.
that. Bullshit is what I said to that.
I get that in present sense impression while they're at the house.
Bullshit. That's present sense impression. I call shenanigans.
I agree. That is a bit of an issue there. Kayla is gonna, it's gonna be an issue there. If this interview was recorded or the statement was recorded, though, that would be able to be brought in. So it all depends. Okay, so we'll see. I don't disagree with you. That's a bullshit argument. I'm just telling you what they would argue. So that was not included, and prosecutor's going to point that out. That yes, we have other people saying this happened. And those are the statements there. And now what is April's attorney getting to here? So the statute charge requires unlawful possession. But the complaint does not allege a fact to be true. The defendant unlawfully or otherwise possessed illegal drugs. It only says she was a guest at someone else's home when police executed a search warrant and found illegal drugs. That's not exactly what it says, because it says there's a question about whether or not she was a guest or a resident. Because one of the homeowners said she is a guest, one of the homeowners said she's a resident. So I think that's beyond reasonable doubt for April, but this attorney is admitting some things here, I would argue. According to the complaint complains no factual substantiation or probable cause and must be dismissed. Well, I'm thinking April's statement to CPS would be pretty good in that regard.
April made a statement to CPS?
Yeah, remember, this is the... Yeah. See, she informed the protection workers that Imholte's her living nanny.
That's Kayla made the statement, not April.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, I said April. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like...
She wouldn't say that she's living nanny. Yeah. So that
April
is
kept her mouth shut.
Yes, she did. She was smart. So they say probable cause exists when an ordinary person of ordinary care and prejudice, viewing the totality of the circumstances objectively, would entertain an honest and strong suspicion that a specific individual has committed a crime. The complaint makes no allegation the defendant possessed any illegal drugs, but merely she was present in the house at the same time. It should be dismissed for lack of probable cause. They got a lot more than her just being in the house. Though. You know, she's as they said, she was in the master bedroom where all the drugs were. Her credit cards were up on the nightstand where they found drugs. And her purse was found in the hallway of the bedroom where all the drugs were. So it's not exactly that. I do agree. She probably has the flimsiest case of everybody.
Yeah, there's a point to be had here.
I don't disagree, but I think it's going to be a very tough road to. It's going to be a long road to hoe for her, and no pun intended. But yes, the Fifth and Sixth Amendments require that the complaint sufficiently apprise the defendant of what they must be prepared to meet. And I would argue the probable cause statement does lay out your credit cards were there. Why were they encrusted in drugs? Why were you in the bedroom full of drugs? Now, they do point out that they are alleging insufficient information. I don't think there is insufficient information. I think there's enough there. At minimum, she's entitled to a bill of particulars. And as we stated, a bill of particulars, it orders the government to clarify the charges with detail sufficient for her to understand and respond. So it explains to her in detail what they're articulating and what they hope they can prove. It informs the defendant of the nature of the charge with sufficient precision to enable him to prepare for trial. It minimizes the danger of surprise. And that's the thing, guys. If the prosecutor is going to argue it in the bill of particulars, they can't go off script and run a different way. Part of a bill of particulars is you're kind of nailing down the prosecutor to a theory of their case. Now, normally it's not a big deal because the theory of their case is pretty straightforward or you already understand it. But sometimes you're forcing them to pick a lane and they can't just run to the next lane in the middle of trial. They have to stick with what they've informed you of. Now, they point out that the court may order the government to provide the additional details where the complaint fails to sufficiently apprise the defendant of the charges to enable them to prepare a defense. Once again, I think she knows there's enough there. It's just how strong is the case? You know, the complaint's sufficient when the elements of the offense are delineated and the general statement is accompanied by the specific facts constituting the offense. Now, and as this is, guys, just so you understand, again, she is not challenging the warrant because if she were to challenge the warrant, she would have to admit she lived in the home. Mm-hmm. So I know, as Nick was trying to say before, if April challenges the warrant, they win. Well, there's no challenging the warrant. She's only challenging the charges against her. Mm-hmm. And I think, is that my... No, that's not mine, I don't think. Is that your Discord or mine? There's somebody's Discord going on. Oh.
I don't hear any Discord noises.
Oh, that's mine. Okay. Let's see here. Oh my God, this is funny. We actually chat. We have the link. We have proof. We have a Baldo sighting in court.
Yep. There
what
he
a
is.
fucking retard. What a fucking retard. What a fucking retard. This, you know, are you trying to get April convicted of the 25 years in prison charge too? Like, you're really making this easy for the state, Nick. You dumb motherfucker. Really? Because now number one, that. Number two, you want the prosecutor to work with you after you're being a spaz the whole time. You're playing these little fuck games with April. You're like, were we really there? Like, was she really in my house? It's just all blurry. Like, no, it's not going to work, Nick. And I am surprised that the prosecutor hasn't demanded no contact with the co-defendants. Maybe it's because she knows that if she does that, April's out on the street and, we'll have to figure out coke at that point. So who knows? MG Law, how you doing, man? It's saying, what is the name under the picture? I think it says connecting to audio. That's the name under the picture. So it was trying to work. Yes. Yes, I know it's just the opinion of some attorneys. Why would it matter to listen to me? I'm just a nerd. Anyway, so. Oh. Shri said, did you miss anything? Yes, you missed a lot. Sorry. Yes, the hearing has happened, guys. It's over now. They did it first, and then everybody acted like retards. So, great time to be had. Anyways, let's get back to this motion. April's attorney filed. So, they point out the defendant's entitled to know what behavior is alleged to constitute the offense he's charged with. And you notice, guys, you're like, wow, this seems like different fonts and things. Yeah, this is copy and paste. This is kind of normal. Yep. You notice it's all, yeah. So, they point out the time for a motion. Anytime during the pendency of a proceeding, an objection may be made to the court's jurisdiction over the offense, or the charging document fails to charge an offense. So for these reasons, they want to challenge it for lack of probable cause. They want to dismiss the charge on the grounds it does not exist probable cause to believe the defendant committed the charges in the complaint. And given the facts disclosed by the record, it is not fair and reasonable to require April to stand trial. To suppress any and all evidence taken as a result of confessions, admissions, or statements in the nature of confessions made by the defendant. And that's fair because any statement she's made, they're allowed to suppress those, and that doesn't expose her to any liability. Because if they ask her a statement to violate her Miranda rights, she's allowed to contest that. And that doesn't expose her to the warrant. And you can see it's all about her constitutional statutory rights regarding her Miranda rights after she asserted her Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights of silence, obtaining an involuntary statement. Notice there's no Fourth Amendment issue. Because once again, April tries that, she's in trouble.
Yep.
And she wants a combined evidentiary and contested probable cause hearing in advance of trial. And this was submitted last night by her attorney. And there we go. That's a weird. He's got his case number, his bar number's got an X in it. It means extreme.
That's cool. I've never seen a bar number with an X in it before. I wonder if that means something.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if it does. It does. I don't know. Maybe it means he's X-rated or something.
I want a bar number with an X in it.
Yes. Oh, there's more D. Hold on here. What's up, Parallax? What we got here, man? So she did show up. Oh my God, what a fun. All right, here's April, guys.
I don't mind if April showed up. I mean, it's her case.
Yeah, but in the studio, what a fun.
That part is more questionable.
Yeah. Yes. Authorized Jay says this potentially law or civil criminal. Yeah. Oh, hold on 1 second. I know Nick says he hadn't seen her in forever, but I guess he saw her today. So, which is it, Nick? Have you not seen her forever?
Maybe they just keep passing each other in the halls and don't notice.
Yeah, there's too much shit in the hallway. They can't see each other. Too many piles of clothes and crusty dishes. Yes, you did miss it, Pepsi Man. They went first. They went a little early too, but they went pretty much right away. Yes, and read the message below it. This is a great message, and we'll zoom in on the message. And somebody put this in chat. I saw it on to the side. But yes.
Wow.
Get your $2 cans from Stoney's Bar Grill. Located at 158 Broadway Street in Rockville, East Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota.
Wow.
Yes, they still got the patio, and Aaron is still doing Gay Twister on the patio every Tuesday night. So,
I really wish people would stop ship posting court. That's very disrespectful.
Yeah, well, this is the Sector and the Dabbleverse running into each other. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh boy. Yeah, that's funny. And that's not funny in the haha way. But you said you want to look at Kayla's thing real quick too over here?
Yeah.
We can take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Kayla.
I'd like to assess it on its merits.
Yeah. Let's see here. No, I think this is just a placeholder motion. She'll probably have more. Because it sounds like she already made an argument on the record. But their motion to dismiss, it's all of 2 amazing pages here. But once again, we're not challenging Frank, so we're not crying about watermarks. So it's a big change. It's a good start. It's a good start when you think about it. So Kayla Christine Rekieta, motion to suppress, dismiss. So they want to suppress all evidence, confessions, and statements as a result of the unlawful search of the home. The result of a defective search warrant. Now notice they're challenging the search warrant here. April didn't challenge the search warrant.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, that's different here.
And she's challenging it on the grounds of sufficiency.
Yes.
Rather than the grounds of the cop lied.
Yes, it's based on insufficient probable cause to believe that the drugs will be found in the home. Based on suppression, they want to dismiss counts 2 and 3. And that's their, the defendant anticipates no witness testimony. So what happened yesterday is her attorney made oral arguments on the record for it. But that's the totality of her statement. That's the totality of it. It's more of just.
Oh, there was anything more. There wasn't anything more specific.
No, that was it.
No,
this was it.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, well, I think her attorney realizes that they kind of don't really have anything here, and she's just,
I thought they were going to, actually walk through the analysis and show me why it was insufficient. This is completely legally insufficient because it's purely conclusionary.
Yeah, it's all legal conclusions. Yeah.
So there's nothing for the judge to do. I just ignore it out of hand as conclusory.
Well, if she made statements on the record, that might be enough to fill the gap here, but I don't know at the end of the day. If I had, like I said, I don't know for sure if I had to guess, but it sucks in that regard. I don't disagree with you.
I was all excited because I saw that she did that. I just assumed there was more to it. I was all excited that there was going to be a substantive argument that was actually going to walk through what it means for it to be sufficient and argue why it isn't sufficient.
Okay.
Like, one might do.
Yeah. James saying turn off midstream ads. I didn't know those are on. Normally that's off. I'll fix that for you. Sorry about that. Didn't realize that was on. It should be fixed. Hold on. My producer's got something to say. Where was he at? I didn't see him. Nate, apparently you're in chat. If you want a link, man, I'll throw one your way if you'd like to join us. Another friend of the show.
You can't just say things. You gotta actually show why those things are true.
Yes, I agree. You can't just go. I think that's a very big problem, but I think that's her attorney's way of acknowledging, like, I got nothing here, Judge. She's like, I'm trying, Judge. Give me some help here. I think that's ultimately the issue, as she's just admitted she ain't got nothing. Now, I wanted to look up something here, and this is what I wanted to see something in Kayla's, because Kayla and Nick had the same probable cause statement.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah,
same
and somebody's saying here, what Cindy's saying wasn't denied. No, Kayla's was not denied outright. The judge is taking under advisement, but he's going to deny it. I don't see him changing his mind there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was almost certainly to be denied, but at least there was some interesting potential.
Yes.
Now, the problem from my point of view is the standards to be reached are so incredibly low because we're talking about probable cause. It doesn't require much. But at least in principle, you have to show that there's sufficient indicia to show the thing you're looking for is in the place where it's to be searched. That's the point, right? Particularity. It's like, I want to search for the drugs in the home. So I have to show sufficient indicia that I'm likely to find the drugs in the home. And so you could try to make an argument. It doesn't really work because we have other sorts of indicia that there's drug use. And then we have the video of him consuming a substance, which then, based on the other context, is now more likely to be drugs as opposed to something else. I don't think the video by itself is really sufficient. But in the context of other things, it's like, okay, now we can sort of make the deduction that this is drug use. So I don't really think it works, but I thought it might be an interesting argument. So I'm sad. How you doing, Nate? Good to see you.
Hi, Nate.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Nate the lawyer.
You see, we still dealing with now it's the Kayla Rekieta and April Imholte's turn to go through these motions to dismiss. So what I came in super late, so I don't know what happened. I'm assuming that she was either denied or things were put off.
So April's attorney said he wants to. They're now contesting it. They filed a motion to dismiss like last night, which, I mean, there's. This judge was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm like, a lot of places, if I tried that, the judge would be like very upset with me about that. Like, why all of a sudden? But yes, they're challenging the probable cause of the probable cause statement. So the actual crime itself, not the search warrant, because if April challenges the search warrant, she's going to have to show she has standing, and she don't want to say she lives there.
But that's all right. All right. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
He's challenging the probable cause
of the information.
Yeah, of the actual charges.
But that's like
they're saying, did she unlawfully possess cocaine?
But you don't have to possess in a constructive possession case. It's like
I understand that, but her attorney, he's filing because he got paid to file it. I'm assuming.
Because again, I think there's only two ways out of it for April. Either she lives there and she could challenge it as, hey, this is a lawful search of my stuff, or she doesn't live there, which doesn't give her thing to challenge this, but then we give her the ability to say none of this stuff was mine, it was all there. So
I agree.
And I'm assuming if her lawyer, let's just keep it real. I'm assuming Nick is probably paying for her thing, again, assumption, or helping her, or she's still living there. Because if she was my client, the first thing is they weren't your drugs. You were in their house. You were a visitor there. Whatever you need to say on the stand, you say it on the stand. Just, hey, I was there. I don't know nothing about drugs. I was that type of thing, right? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. So Nick indicated that April was at the home visiting. And this is from Nick and April's statement of probable cause.
Okay.
So Nick already said, hey, she's visiting. Now, this part here, it's a little different because they have different, the probable cause statements don't match. They're not as in-depth. So they're saying at the Kandiyohi County Jail, Nick was again read his Miranda rights and agreed to speak without an attorney. Okay. So he says a master bedroom. He says April Imholte was a friend who was visiting the house and does not live at the residence. Once again, Nick says the same thing.
Okay.
Now, then it becomes an issue of, well, Kayla says she's the live-in nanny, but who exactly did she say it to? Because in the statement for April, she says it to the children's service workers, which I think opens, and Kurt is right. It's a hearsay issue.
That would be a hearsay issue.
But I think there's ways, because here is the statement from April's probable cause statement. And she told the CPS workers that April Imholte's her live-in nanny. Now, depending on how she said it, it could have been effect on the hearer, presence on suppression. Those are all those are the catch-alls prosecutors usually rely on.
That's coming in for the truth of the matter, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
I understand you're trying to get around it, but you are offering it for the truth.
I know.
This is some rubbish.
But Nate, you'll know this doing defense work. What do courts do sometimes? I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. No. This is bull.
But they will allow it sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, I will make it. I'll make this. I do. I think the attorney's strategy is sound now based on what you guys have just said, because I think they've thrown out the strategy of her challenging a search warrant because that's not going anywhere, especially after Nick just got torn down with the search warrant. So you challenge probable cause as basis to her. And I'm thinking the only way you could honestly do that is to say, I was a guest. I just walked into the house. I was drinking some, not Coca-Cola, but Pepsi, because you want to stay away from the word Coke. And sitting down on the couch, cops come in, busted, arrest me, and I had nothing to do with it. That's the probable cause that she's going to attack. That's the way she would attack it. And I'm assuming if her lawyer was smart, you would say, well, and you'll cooperate with the authorities, because she doesn't have to give Nick up. She could just say, I was there, I was, talking to them, blah, 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 and the cops raided the place. The drugs were found in his bedroom. I was never in there. That.
Yeah, but she was found there. They found her in the bedroom.
Oh, she was found in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's part of the issue here.
Near the Coke.
Yeah, because when you go back up here, let's see here.
Making it hard for me. You're making it hard on a player right now. I thought she was good.
Kayla and April were found in the master bedroom. Right next to her credit cards with Coke all over them, next to all the stuff with cocaine on it, in the same room with that big pile of cocaine. So that gives her some issues. Yeah.
That does give you some issues. Well, it gives you issues in the sense of, damn. And her cards were found. The cocaine was found with her credit cards, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's now you're talking. It just sounds so much like a jury question. It could go either way. She could win this to be fair, people. There's an argument here that could be won. But I think right now you got a lot of probable cause. If your cards are there, you're in the same room with cocaine. It's going to be hard to say. And you're the living nanny, but you're really not the living nanny. And then you're having this. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, no. I think that's ultimately the problem there. Is what are you going to get out of this? And that's why I think a problem for. I think she can beat. I don't think she'll beat the probable cause, because remember, probable cause, guys. It's that 25-30% sure. You don't have to be that sure for probable cause. Is it beyond a reasonable doubt? I think you're gonna have to convince a jury my credit cards that are probably going to be, and I don't know if the police have checked to make sure they were valid. Because if they were old expired credit cards, then you could argue, I didn't have them. Nick got a hold of them somehow.
Yeah.
But if they're actually valid, and what they could do is they could subpoena her credit card records. When did you use his card last? 5 minutes ago. She was on Amazon buying something with it. It's going to be really hard to say those aren't mine. She can make the arguments, but juries are normal people, and normal people are hard to bullshit at times. Sometimes you can do it though.
But to be fair, though, this is going to be a question of law for the judge about whether we move forward. Essentially,
yes, and this one is
and I think this is where she, out of all three of them, I think she has the best case in getting this dropped before she's going to trial. I think she has the best opportunity of a plea deal of something very, very light. And I think she does, and I thought she has the best opportunity of getting dismissed. Nick and Kayla, I think, are just done. They just, unless they can get unless they can get the warrant thrown out, they're done.
Yeah, and they won't.
And I'm for sure Nick is essentially done. Nick is done. So I honestly think their best option now. I think April has a shot. I think April should fight, but if she loses, I think the best possible scenario here is one person has got to just take the fall. One person, because think about it.
I don't know how you're going to get just one person to take the fall, because Nick says, "Hey, it's our house. April and I live together in our room."
I'll tell you exactly how Nick does it. It's just like when you're a defense attorney. You know when a gun is found, and then we'll charge both people with the gun, and somebody got to say it's my gun, and then the other person walks. That's what's going to have to happen here. That was my cocaine for my personal use. I left it out. They had nothing to do with it, and I'll testify to that. Even in their trials, they walk. When somebody does and then that's it. You get it's a 3-for-1.
I don't disagree with you, but now you forgot about the. This trio used to be a quartet.
That's true.
And here's the thing. Yes, Nick's going to have to be the one that does it, because we have video of Nick hitting the slopes.
Yeah.
So April, Kayla jumping in, it's like, but we have proof he was doing it literally the night before. So, and here's the thing. Is Nick going to take the heat? No, Nick's never going to take a knee. Nick's never going to fall for it. So what do you do with it? There's no, like Nick he could try to do the right thing here. But the prosecutor might say, screw you guys. I know this is all nonsense. I got Aaron right here. Let's bring him in. And Aaron's going to admit, we were all doing coke.
I would, but Aaron is a horrible witness. He can say, yeah, he was all doing coke, but I'll be bringing up, and he was the one doing that. He's got the revenge porn. He's got it's like he's not the easiest witness to say.
No, he's not. He's not. But does that make his statement more likely or less likely that it happened? Remember, he's admitting statements against penal interest. Like, I did cocaine. I'm sure he could still get charged with possession technically at this point.
Yeah, and I think I think the response to that would be he's got an axe to grind, right? He was showing around her nudes.
Also, though, at that point, it becomes at that point the jury. Well, now you're going to have to this is the part of the case where, Nick and Kayla are really going to have to go out on a limb in front of the world and say, once again, Nick's going to have to admit, yeah, we cucked ourselves in a polycule in front of the world. That's where if you want to, you want to make those statements, you want to make those claims and defenses, you want to attack this witness about his credibility and his bias. Isn't it true, Mr. Imholte, you were railing my client's wife? And when you guys broke up and you still in love with her. That's where you're going to have to go. And
yeah, I mean, if you want to go down that road of trying to impeach his credibility, I mean, it's hard to do that without exposing some things.
Well, hold on. I have two learned attorneys here. If they go to trial and Imholte is called, what are you going to do? Are you just going to just sit there and say, okay, let him speak?
No,
of course
I would challenge him ahead of time. I make some challenges, motions in limine, trying to challenge things here. I try to do some things to try to head it off of the past the best you could.
I think you guys are giving short shrift to the attack on what's his name, Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Only reason why, and I'll say this. Let's just keep it real. As a prosecutor, I got my main witness is a cokehead who's arrested for multiple harassments on women. One of the defendants in this case, he's harassing.
Yeah.
He's still saying crap online, and he's an admitted drug user. Blah 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 blah. So his credibility is essentially trash.
Sure.
Right? Trash. And you're right. I'd have to admit to all this, but I'd rather admit to all this and win the case than admit to all this and be in jail. Does that make sense?
I agree. I agree. But Nate, you did some time as a prosecutor, and this is something I would bring up if I was a prosecutor. Ladies and gentlemen, you find 26 grams of cocaine in a house full of cocaine addicts. You're not going to find it at the church. You're not going to find it at the Kiwanis or the Rotary meeting. It's not going to be at the Women's League. It's going to be in a house full of cocaine addicts. And who are cocaine addicts? They're not people you like. They're not people you would associate with. They live a different world than you. They do things you would never, ever imagine doing. You're going to hear a bunch of horrible things.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's where it's going to come down to. Did anything that, sure, these drug addicts had a big love triangle thing going on. Does that make it what Aaron said any less likely? Is kind of an issue. No, and I agree with you, Nate,
you might be able to get that kind of stuff excluded, but the problem is you can't have it both ways at the same time. So you might be able to get all that love triangle stuff excluded because it's relevant and substantially more prejudicial.
But
you can get all that excluded. But the problem, but that's the problem on the other end. It's like it does go to bias. You can't have it. It can't be both in and not in. So if you said, okay, I don't want any of this in, as like Nick or Kayla, I don't want any of this in because it's prejudicial, it's irrelevant, and it's substantially more prejudicial. You can probably do that. The problem is then you can't turn around and then use it as bias evidence.
Yes.
Because it's like it can't be both in and not in at the same time.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge.
Yeah, and Nate, I 100% agree, though. I would be hammering on the idea she didn't live there. At the end of the day, though, she's facing the littlest amount of drug charge. It's the 5 years. They're like she's already on easy street. So even if she loses, she probably gets probation out of it and everything. So
it's still a felony, though. I mean,
it is.
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, but at this point, when people Google your name when you're applying for a job, I mean, they're not going to find April Imholte curing cancer.
Well, I do want to say one thing before I go to my thoughts on that. Is that Kurt? I definitely love how you put out the 4-3 balancing test from your federal rules of evidence. So that was nice in your last statement.
Yes.
What about the prejudicial versus the
the probative value?
Probative versus prejudicial. Yeah. But I think you guys are 100% correct. Now, in theory, in practice,
I agree.
When you're at the prosecutor's office, you like, for instance, I had like maybe 100, 120 cases at one time. I had cases with 3, 4, 10 people involved, right? If I could get rid of 9 of those and get the one who's, I'll take it.
I agree.
Take it, right? Because
I was that way too.
So now, if you're telling me in this case you got this triplet, and the main guy who I've got the coke on his nose is saying, I'd rather take a deal if it's my coke, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to go through 3 separate trials to figure to try to get them all. I got him. That's why he'll do the time, and the other 2 will be gone, and then blah 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 blah. Don't do it again. That's the real world, and I think that's what is likely to happen in this case. But I think the problem is, I think
Nick's not going to accept it though.
To be fair, on the flip side though, there aren't that many cases in Kandiyohi, because what was the criminal number on this again?
Well, remember though, Kurt, here's the thing. I worked in a very small office. It's a smaller office, so you have less people. But now it's not only all those cases, but they probably do all the traffic cases in that county.
Yeah, they
probably do. They're doing all the children's services cases. I don't know exactly about Minnesota, but here in Ohio, the county prosecutor is legal counsel for all the county townships in the county.
Really, that's a bit unusual.
Yeah,
well, split.
Yeah, so there's a million. They're also the typically your county prosecutor is also in charge of helping the county agencies deal with legal matters. Now, they might say at some point you need to hire out and get legal counsel, but they're going to be involved in a lot of the things that are going on. A million different things are going on. Like, there's so much crap in a smaller office where normally you'd have a bigger office. You'd have like Nate, when you were, in
Bronx.
County. Yeah, you're Bronx. So that's Bronx County, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys had like a civil division. You had a civil division that was.
We had a whole. We had the city law department.
Yeah.
Those were the DAs. We called it the DAs of the money. Those are slip and fall on city property. Those are the DAs who do that.
Yeah.
And we were the DAs for the criminal side. But like you're saying, most small towns, the DA does them both. One DA does them both because they don't have 8 million people like New York.
Yeah. So it's when you're in a small area. And guys, when you mean like they're the township solicitors, well, if the township trustees say, hey, can we legally do this? They would come to the county prosecutor and say, hey, can we do X, Y, and Z? The township wasn't in charge of criminal stuff. That was the sheriff's department. But if the township trustees were trying to do something, or they were having problems, or there's a fight over the road, who controls the road, or the soil and water, management district, which those are real things, or the rural water authority, or the rural electric authority, all these different groups and interactions with how do you deal with it? And then, the state route runs through our township. Are we responsible? How far up the road when we get to the intersection do we pave or clear or deal with? There's a million different questions those little organizations have.
Yeah, that's
soil and water management. It's water.
Well, how do you guys? We talk about this case all the time, and there's obviously there's 4 cases going on here. I think Aaron's case is going to be pled out because they got him dead to rights. He's literally on camera doing it.
They have a problem because their principal witness is out of state.
Yeah,
about Aaron's.
Yeah, his revenge porn case.
Their principal,
Gino is in New York City.
Yeah, their principal witness is out of state, so they got a real problem.
And he's not
refusing to cooperate.
Cooperate. All right, so that may be.
There's also problems though, and I covered this. Gino and Keanu are talking, and Gino says like April talked to us beforehand. It's like, so what are these witnesses all talking about? Like, there's a lot of issues there. Nick has, Camelot has made statements like, "Oh, I've seen some naked pictures and I've seen some freaky deaky things." Like, there's the idea of like, "Oh, this was just a limited thing," but it's like, there's a lot to argue that. I don't know if that's necessarily true. And also, it doesn't help that when your victims come in and they have as a prosecutor, you didn't want to deal with this nonsense. So it's like, okay, they're just screwing with each other now, and there's clearly an axe to grind.
Oh, hell no, that's the worst because you get
so that's why
craziness.
Yeah. So that's why I think that there's a plea here. It's probably going to be a misdemeanor because if I'm the prosecutor, I don't want to deal with
for April.
No, for Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron. I think
that point,
misdemeanor plea makes sense.
Yeah, which at that point it's like, although I'd be halfway tempted, the way Nick has been acting and he's been talking about well, there's all these things I could say, but I don't want to be seen as harassing and intimidating somebody. But you know what I know. I know what you know. It's like, you start jerking around other cases you're involved in where you're like, oh, we're being attacked by poor Aaron. The steel toe man is coming after us. When you start acting like a big old, oh, fuck him. I ain't scared of him. Fuck him.
Yeah,
okay, well, if you're not scared of him, case dismissed. And you're like, no, that's not what I wanted.
Well, let's keep it real. The reason why this whole thing is happening with Aaron is because Nick, Kayla, and April think it's going to help their case.
Yes.
They're trying to destroy Aaron's credibility by having him arrested on this. So that's the whole scheme here. And I like what Civil said is that they don't even really need Aaron to prove anything against Nick.
Oh, they don't. They don't.
No. It's a two witness case. Anything else is bonus.
Yes. So I don't know why they're going after. Now, the only person that can that Aaron would probably help for the prosecutor is against April.
I think he help against Kayla.
How can you help against Kayla?
It's like I watched Kayla and like she knew the cocaine was there. She used it. Like she had knowledge of it. The idea like she was in possession of it. It's in her bedroom. Like I watched her go and get it out of the safe. Like at that point, she's got dominion and control and access to it.
Yeah, if
you would have the same.
If you can, yeah, that's true. And
and Aaron talks about all the time. They were humping and humping and pumping the whole time. So.
I mean, Aaron is a nice witness to have, although it does come with complications, as you notice, because it's like it just puts the dagger in the back. It's like, yeah, I was there. We did drugs all the time. Of course, it's their drugs. I saw him put drugs in there. I saw him take drugs out of it. I bought the drugs with him or whatever else he was going to testify.
Yeah, there's a lot of things he could testify to. I would probably.
If you're
he spent a lot of time with Kayla, from what we understand.
If I'm the prosecutor and I need Aaron, which I don't think they do need, but if I'm the prosecutor and I've made the decision I want Aaron to testify, I give him a deal. I give him a deal with immunity, then, right? Because
but remember, it's in a different county, though.
Yeah, but you have to obviously got to work with that county prosecutor. Like, hey, I have him on this, level 2. What's it? Second degree major felony. Do you mind? Let's give him a deal for the minor misdemeanor, and I'll give him because he'd have to have immunity before testifying against Nick April. From what you guys are saying, you're saying I did drugs with them, all this other stuff.
Yeah, I was in that house. I had
have
possession over things too.
He's gonna have a broad immunity for a lot of the stuff he's gonna be testifying.
Yeah, and that's why I think there's also the issue for God, I keep getting like Trump and Sherrod Brown texts, and you tell them like, stop sending me ones, and then they call you from another number and text you from another number. It won't stop. Oh, God, it's driving me crazy. But no, I think I think for Kayla, she still has a problem though, because remember when you read Nick's probable cause statement, when he's at the police station. Well, when they first get him, he says it's our bedroom. That's where we are. Like he says that right away.
He does.
Yeah.
And he also talks at the police station.
He does.
I don't know what he says. Like we don't know what he said, and I kind of get the feeling, given it's Nick and the way he's acting now, I'm sure Nick just ran off at the mouth.
You think he gave it up? You think?
He probably said something. He probably said
Nick
something.
indicated he sleeps in the master bedroom with Kayla. I'm sure he talked about all kinds of stuff.
Nah, that would shock me. If Nick gave it up, Nick is always the one. Don't talk to the police.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Well, Nick giving it up to the police.
Yeah, well, here at the jail, he read his rights and was agreed to speak without an attorney. Nick refused to answer any questions regarding cocaine or other controlled substance use.
All right, that's the Nick I know.
But he didn't follow the mantra. He didn't follow the mantra.
Nick indicates he lives in the residence. He stays in the master bedroom with his wife, Kayla. I'm sure there was a lot of discuss. Like, I'm assuming it wasn't a 2-minute interview. So I can only imagine Nick stomped all over his dick in there.
Wow.
And in the meantime, stomped all over Kayla.
Well, this
to
is
protect April.
Message for Nick. Even if you're an attorney and get arrested, you feed the cops shit and keep them in the dark. Treat them like mushrooms. You don't talk to the police.
You just keep your mouth shut. Don't feed them. Don't feed them shit. Just
don't lie. You don't want to lie because that.
No, you don't want to lie. That runs
into
the problems too.
I'm not saying
don't open your mouth.
Shit, but don't give them. Yeah, don't give them anything.
Just say I want to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Just say those things. Repeat as necessary.
So from what I'm hearing from you guys, Nick is fucked. There's nothing that Nick is done. Nick is either going to plead or something. He's not just walking away from this. So the only two people who we're really talking about is Kayla and April.
Yeah.
And I think Kayla is probably more likely to get something than April. I think April has the best chance again.
Oh, April's already on the bottom end of this, so she's already looking like $1 million. Yeah. Comparatively speaking, she looks like $1 million. She's only looking at 5 years. She's probably guaranteed probation based on sentencing guidelines. Like, life is good from here. She can make arguments. Nick and Kayla, if they get bumped down a level, they're still looking at a lot of serious felony issues. So they have a long way to climb that ladder.
They're still on probation with the charges that they're there. On the second degree with no criminal history, they're looking at 48 months suspended.
There might be aggravating factors though, and
I didn't see any aggravating factors on my quick read of the statute.
Yeah.
So I didn't see them, but
we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Your kids being in the house and firearms, those definitely scream aggravating factors.
Yeah.
And you know they do. Ask Derek Chauvin, for instance, about those aggravating factors.
Yeah. You find it amazing you take the word of a wife beater also did drugs and took his kids to Nick's house. Well, what part was he lying about? I mean, shitbags tell the truth too. I mean,
because the prosecutor is going to put him on the stand and not put him on the stand as some viable. They put him on the stand as a drugged, coked out, wife cheating mother. Exactly. And they're going to say, and
what happens in a drug house? Not good stuff.
You don't have priests talking about, I was in a drug house praying, and everybody else was using coke. You take the witness as they are.
I had a case where I was defending a guy, and all my witnesses were people in a drug house that watched everything happen. And I said, the people knew exactly where I was talking about. I said, you've been down that. You guys know where this neighborhood is. You're not going to find the Pope walking down the street. That's who you're going to find there. That's who we have to deal with. Now, you may not like them and you don't live their life, but does that mean what they said wasn't true? And I got a couple of people to buy on it. So it's very, it's you can work with dealing with turds and, reprobates. Just you got to phrase it right and show them.
I want to ask you guys about this next paragraph.
Yeah.
About the pill bottles. She bought pill bottles.
Yeah.
She could be charged.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I thought she could be. I thought theoretically she might be able to be charged for trying to smuggle things into a jail.
Well, remember though, she was getting. I'm assuming when she got arrested, she said I have medications, and they brought the medications. Yeah, she requested a prescription medication be brought to her, and then when they inspected it, they found 2 unknown pills and gummies in one of the bottles. So I'm assuming those were dropped off and they inspected it, not that she smuggled them in. So I think that they avoided the conveyance into a controlled facility thing, which itself is a crime. Yes. Don't bring drugs into the jail.
This case is just, I'm going to make a bold prediction here.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction is, eventually, they're going to have to hit a wall where it's going to be shit or get off the pot. Are we all going to trial, or are we going to do something here?
Yes.
Prediction number 1: none of these 3 people are going to jail. Even if they were convicted on the top count, they're going to be going home. So that's number 1. So nobody's going to jail. Number 2 is, do we get 3 felons or do we get 1? And I'm assuming if things go the way it usually goes, you'll get 1 felon out of this. One person to come and say, I'm the person, this is mine. Yes, she lived there, but it was all mine. Blah, 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 because that person will now go to, Nick would be the person this one would go to his wife's trial and say, no, she didn't even know that was drugs. It was all mine, blah, blah, blah. He could just do that and they'll try to hammer it, but that's powerful for a jury. No prosecutor is going to go to trial with that. So I think that is probably going to be the most likely outcome. I think Nick takes some type of plea where it'll turn into a misdemeanor, where you'll be a good boy for a couple of years.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Assuming a misdemeanor deal was ever available, I don't know if one's available.
I don't think that's.
It was all. I mean, to be fair, it was always one hell of an ask. You're going to want to go from a second degree all the way down to all the way through 3rd, 4th, 5th, all to some misdemeanor. I mean, it was already a hell of an ask, and now things have gone a little bit heated. I don't think that's on the table anymore.
I agree. But I think again, when I was there, I've seen people come in with pretty interesting amounts. And at a point, if it's your first time offense, you're a pillar in the community, blah, 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 blah. All right, I'll give you a CD with a misdemeanor and you'll be a good boy for 2 years.
Wow, you guys are nice over there.
But if you get caught up again, which sometimes they do, then next thing you know, now you don't get the CD because again, right now, especially in Minnesota, it's liberal. We're talking about they think about
CD is conditional discharge, by the way,
exactly.
chat.
Yeah.
Since he kept using the acronym.
Well, and and some of you guys down there are pish-poshing it, but it's not uncommon too. I mean, it's not uncommon in a rural area. We want people to get treatment. Like this isn't the idea is we don't want them to come back. We want them to get fixed. We want them to get their life on track. It's one thing in a big city of doing that, but in a county of 40,000 people, we need to keep families together. We need to keep the community cohesive. Like there are incentives there to try this, and they will try it. And sure, will they screw up? Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. I mean, it's tough for people on probation, and it's all about whether or not they're willing to stay out of trouble. But Nick, guys,
that's 4 years of drug testing, 4 years of alcohol testing.
I'd like to think Nick won't, but I kind of get the feeling Nick is tempting the fates, and the fates love nothing more than to laugh at you.
Yeah.
And he is tempting the fates more and more and more, and I think he's going to do something stupid.
Well, I'll tell you about this. This reminds me of this case so much. So I had a case where I was second chair, and it was my first time in the defense world. And it was a guy who was charged with doing unpleasant things with a minor. And the original deal coming like before he got indicted, pre-indictment, because pre-indictment, post-indictment deals are different. So the pre-indictment deal was he would do a year in prison, be put on the sex offender registry for a certain amount of time, and yada yada nothing. That guy fought all the way to the eve of trial. And then he took a deal for 10 years. And that's what I always tell people. I think if Nick was thinking, but obviously he's in a coked out mind, at the beginning of this, you go in and he says, I have a problem, I need help. And we're talking about a totally different scenario. This is probably going to be over at this point in time.
Oh, yeah, we'd be done by now.
But the fact that he didn't do that, and the fact that he's still fighting on these ridiculous legal arguments. Some of these arguments are just ridiculous and illegal. Listening to, unfortunately, Barnes, telling him, hey, you got all these Constitution things. Barnes is going to go home to Las Vegas and sleep in his bed while Nick is doing time in prison following those bad legal arguments. So I think with that being the thing, I think Nick and his attorneys need to put pressure on the DA because you're in a liberal place. You're in a place where they don't find drug abuse is a disease and all that. You play on all those check boxes and see if they'll give you something because this is not. I know there's a lot of people maybe in the chat that have issues with Nick, but this is not the son of Sam here. This is an upstanding member of the community who's a damn attorney who's got caught who's his first defense with anything, right? And it happens to be this. So, people think this is I think they essentially think that he's like OJ. He killed somebody, but he didn't, and that's why he's not going to get jail time, even if he's gotten on a top count. So I think we all need to understand this is more serious for Nick in terms of obviously the felony charge, but I think this is more serious too for the public relations nightmare.
Of course,
that this has become for Nick. That's where I think this is more. This hurts Nick more. The fact that he was going around with the whole, I'm a Christian, we're celibate, I only have one wife, that type of thing. And now that has seemed to blow up in his face. I wasn't using drugs because now all those lies have come out. And now one thing that you see on Twitter is that he's admitting to the lies, right? Of course I've used coke. Of course I did this before because that's a lot different than we. And I think that's something that maybe he has to personally deal with, the YouTube life versus the legal life. But I think he needs to understand the most important thing about this is that legal case. Damn what the people think online. Just keeping your ass out of jail and making sure that you can protect your family and keep your family. That's the most important thing. So I'm hoping he realizes that is what is more important. And I think if he does, then all this stuff takes care of itself because he can save his wife, he can save his girlfriend. Right now, if he mans up and does the right thing. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree. That's a shame. She's an attorney out in Indiana. She says, do other states not have mandatory minimums? I can tell you this much: in Ohio, there'd be a mandatory minimum for him. There'd be mandatory time. So
wow,
yeah,
he's lucky. But in Ohio, this amount. You're looking at like 2 to 8 years, 3 to 11 years. You're not looking at like up to 25. So
yeah.
And he doesn't qualify for like a major drug offender specification. But yeah, any like that much cocaine, he'd be looking at mandatory prison, whatever he agreed to, unless it was a reduced, like a lower level sentence. So
yeah.
Ohio's mean.
It's
Ohio's
at times it can be. At times it can be fierce.
Matter of fact, so obviously, since we've all been slandered because of our horrible legal analysis, even though it's funny, it's like the judge watched our streams and then wrote the thing. Like, yeah, you know what? That all makes sense.
Yes. Well, more importantly, though, we're all nerds. I think that's a big thing we need to understand too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're all nerds. Have you guys read Kayla's response? What do you guys think about that one?
Oh, hers?
It was conclusory. It was completely conclusory. There's nothing there. It just says, it just says it's insufficient. There's not enough information. It provides no analysis whatsoever. It's
I don't know if you've seen this, Nate. It's literally
it's rejected out of hand because it's conclusory.
I'm assuming
I thought this was the notice. I didn't know this was the motion.
Well, she may have made an argument on the record, as I'm assuming what happened, but there was no.
Yeah, what's her? I'm assuming she's not just going to go down the Nick barrel. So does she have any arguments that make any sense to suppress any of this stuff?
It's not clear because when you go into a case thing here and you look at the case details, the judge took it under advisement, and she filed a motion to dismiss 2 pages, and that was it.
All right, so it might have been oral arguments.
And I think a lot of that is her attorneys also realizing, like, okay, I'll file this, Kayla, but like we got nothing.
Yeah, but you still file something now, just hell.
Yeah,
I don't understand why you wouldn't just do the analysis. I mean,
yeah.
Although I certainly think that there is enough. I've seen warrants with more, so I don't think it would be the most frivolous argument I've ever read in my life. I still think the odds are basically 0, but I'd be able, I think, do it with a straight face. I think.
Maybe.
I mean, I think a normal challenge to this would be fine, challenging the basic probable cause for the warrant. I think there's enough you could challenge there. Like, did you know? I mean, like, you could challenge Dr. Pomplin. You've known about Nick for a while, it says, when you've talked about it. You're familiar with him. You've been to his house before. Okay, so you know he has other, like, he uses Provigil. Like, you're familiar with him. He suffers from narcolepsy. Did you make sure that, you know, he could have been abusing prescription meds that were given to him legally? That's not something you're going to get a warrant for. I know he wasn't grinding up. Like, there's ways you can try to attack this.
Yeah,
they might not work at the end of the day, but there are routes and venues to go. But yes, instead, Nick just went and put his blinders on and was like, Franks. And then he's like, oh, wait, I missed probable cause.
Well, I think that's why we used to say being your own lawyer is very dangerous. Yeah. I think that's kind of what happened here, where he saw, okay, this one thing is incorrect, and then jumped on that and tried to make it the whole basis of well, that cop lied because he didn't watch the original video. We all know, you know. It's like, come on, really? Is that the argument?
Well, the semantics games, or I've heard, I've had clients just before where it's like, well, the officer said I was wearing a red hat, but I was actually wearing a blue hat that day. He caught you with a gun when you ran out of the car that crashed. They were chasing. Like, that's the problem. You know, like yes, you're like, but it's wrong. And it's like, if I remove that from the thing, like I did this with Nick's search warrant affidavit last night. If you for example, remove all the children's services stuff out of it, you remove like 2.5 total sentences out of the entire thing. And you can remove those, and it still reads about some guy doing a ton of coke. So there's,
See, I'm thinking about what you're just saying about attacking Poplin, and I think you can, because if he does know Nick, you could really play, especially with the probable cause piece. You would be able to play. You would be able to make an argument. I don't think it's a winning argument, but you'd be able to make an argument because you can say Nick does drunk streams. He's drunk. He's always all the time. This is the way he operates business. So how do you know he's different between being drunk and being that's his stick, and he doesn't use cocaine all the other time. So now this time you watch, you say, okay, it's cocaine. You know what I'm saying? You build up a history with them and saying that, that I think there's enough there. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be successful, obviously, but I think you could make, especially if Poplin knew him previously. But then Nick would have the problem because it's family, and I don't know. Well, this is public. It's got to be public. That Nick's wife's family was in the documents too, and turned him over and reported stuff to the police and school. So that's going to be even harder. yeah, he's fucked. I don't. There's not. Yeah. He's fucked. He's just done. He's done. I'm trying to figure out how to do anything. I don't know, but it's just like I can't figure anything. I hate being in this type because it's always like a something.
Well, there was a reason when I did that video. I said it's essentially unattackable, right? There's a reason I said that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like I can't find anything that works.
Yeah.
And I considered every possible argument in a half a second. I'm like, none of them.
What does Legal Mindset say about all this?
I mean, he thinks it's toast at the end of the day. This is all just flailing. So
yeah, and
but Nick is right though. He has when he's able to hobble on over to me and tell me what's going on. Yes, he agrees.
It's funny. He hates. They like in a blood feud now, right? It's like it's so crazy to watch them like want to kill each other. For those of you who don't know, Nick, like Andrew Esquire, Legal Mindset, was Nick's like biggest cheerleader. Remember when he went after Legal Bites?
Yeah.
Because all right, so just so you guys remember what happened, Nick had gotten kicked off of YouTube for something, and most of us were like, well, before we say Nick should be back on YouTube, let's hear.
That was the Keffels thing.
Because Nick says crazy stuff sometimes. So we're like, all right, we're all gonna hold on. So I think was it Legal Bites and someone else? They said we support Nick, but we want to see what he said first before we make some.
It was Richard Hogue.
Yeah.
Legal Bites from Richard Hogue.
Which is
and I said, I defended Nick at the time.
Yeah, you defended him, but then Mindset went after them, said, you got to be loyal, this is BS. Now, we're a couple of years later, now it's the exact opposite. But you know, but I it's funny because going back then, I do understand being Nick's friend at the time, and and then now finding out what your findings, but it's insane old stuff. What about the last thing? What about the kids? What about the whole coke with the kid? That seemed like to just disappear. That's like
I mean, that's just because the information source got turned off. The tap got shut off. So I don't think the case is over. He's still under some protective supervision. The agency's going to be checking on him. I mean, he showed us at that one point. He showed his drug testing patch on his arm. I'm sure the agency is still conducting random inspections of the house to make sure it hasn't, backslid. I'm sure part of it is Nick has to show successful screens, going to drug evaluations, drug education. I'm sure a lot of that's still ongoing. I can't fathom that it's over by now.
Yeah.
So
I'll say this, guys. We've known Nick for some time. Rittenhouse, even before Rittenhouse, we've all known Nick. Who would have effing thought that guy from Rittenhouse would be the same guy we're talking about today?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way if we went back in the time machine, there's no way you would have been able to tell me that we're talking about the same guy.
Oh, I agree.
But
I would have thought this is all elaborate deep fakes or something back then.
Yeah. And it's just sad. As a matter of fact, the whole LawTube sphere seems to have changed a lot because we used to all do things with each other a lot of time, always on live streams together. But now I think it's just time, huh? Time. It's like the band breaks up after a couple of years.
A little bit,
right?
But we also haven't had the big things again. That's part of the issue too.
Well, let's just keep it real. Money did become a big issue because.
Yeah, when you see what's out there, yes.
Just so you guys understand, the thing that broke up the LawTube cabal is money. When now thinking back,
the attempt to basically unionize it, and I was like, oh boy.
No, you know what? I think people didn't realize. So when Nick was doing Rittenhouse and Johnny Depp and all these other things, having 10 lawyers come onto a stream and talk about the case is so valuable. Valuable because don't forget that's what blew up.
And I didn't see any of it.
Yeah. And I'm thinking if you are making, some of these guys are making $20,000-$30,000 a day, and you don't think about giving it to any of your, just at least saying, hey, you know what? I know you're helping me. You're coming to my channel every day, helping me get these views and subs. It's not me, just break off a little something, or even like a gift or something. But none of those people did that. And matter of fact, I think Nick even promised a couple of people to actually break them off a piece and never broke them off a piece. So just to let everybody know, it was the thing that broke. The reason why
that's some hot goss I never heard.
Oh yeah. No, there's I don't know if he wants. Well, there's two people. I don't know if they want me to say their names, but they say they were promised by Nick a piece of some of the action, and then it disappeared, and they never got it. So, and that was the reason. That's kind of what broke everything up. So, and then I remember we were all arguing over who, because then it was like the next trial. So it was like, who would be the solo person to do the next trial?
Oh yeah, like I saw that. Well, that part of like
that part got really
we're gonna organize this, and we're gonna have that's you put a bunch of lawyers in a room. All they're gonna do is start fighting, and that actually was a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of hurt feelings during the whole Johnny Depp thing.
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
All over a couple of both who are both lunatics. So.
Yes, that's what we need. We need but the thing is that, and we all thought there would be another Johnny Depp trial, but there just hasn't been.
There'll be another one.
But it's like, how many years are we at after Depp?
Yeah, how long are we going to have to wait? I know. Yeah, there'll be something.
Alec Baldwin, wasn't it? Surprisingly.
No, Alec Baldwin. It was too short. It was like a couple of days, and it doesn't have because I think Johnny Depp had the Me Too intrigue to it too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's what made it. And Rittenhouse was a surprise, but I think this Daniel Penny case, Daniel Penny in New York.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could watch it.
That would be if we could watch it. I think that would be
phenomenal.
Yeah,
I think he gets acquitted.
He should get acquitted. You
get a bunch of people in New York City who ride the subway, and they're going to be like, I've had to deal with crazy people on the train, and they're going to be like, fuck that guy. I wish I could choke him out half the time.
Yeah. Just so everyone understands what's going on, in New York, there was a guy who goes on a train, takes off his jacket, throws it at a passenger, and says, I'm hungry. I want food now. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'll kill everybody on this train. Now, mind you, the train doors are locked and you can't go anywhere. And he starts walking up and down. I'm ready to go back to jail. I'll do a life sentence. I'm going to kill someone if you don't give me what I want. So passengers on the train was like, yo, we got
people
stop
on the train.
This guy.
Yeah. People on the train admitted they were in fear of their safety. So
3 people jumped up, grabbed the guy, and held him down. 2 of the people happened to be people of color. 1 person happened to be white, but the person who was white had the guy in a headlock. Now they're saying it was a chokehold. So they said it's a choke. It was a, you know what?
It was very loose.
The sleeper hold.
But it was a super loose sleeper.
Yeah.
Like half the time it wasn't even sleeping.
No, he wasn't. But he died because it was the blood choke. So he died from.
Yeah, I think he died because he was
and he was high on K2.
I'm assuming he lived his life on the streets and ran himself ragged and then died. I mean,
yeah. I would say he's an eggshell plaintiff, but the thing is, you take the victim as.
I understand. I agree.
Yeah.
If you say I'm going to kill you and then I get you into a submissive hold and you die, sounds like self-defense to me.
1000%. But guess what? So now you have 3 people who grabbed this guy. 2 have his arms. 1 guy has his legs. The other guy has the chokehold. The chokehold. It was a headlock that eventually turned into a chokehold. But anyway, he's got the headlock on. The guy dies. The DA doesn't charge the 2 people of color. They only charge the white,
even though they were actively accessories, a la Derek Chauvin, right?
Yes,
they're
holding the guy down while the guy's being choked to death allegedly. That's the theory of the case, right?
That's Derek Chauvin. It's basically Derek Chauvin.
Yes,
and you have one guy holding down some other part of him, one guy nearby, and some.
Yeah, I agree. No, the other guys holding him down should have been charged.
They refuse to charge the black people, and so I was arguing with somebody the other day. I was like, when did we live in a world when it became okay to do the wrongs of the past? Because let's say if we reverse the races, it was a black guy who choked out a white guy, and 2 other white guys holding him down, and they only charged the black guy. They didn't charge. It would be up in arms. You'd be like, oh, racism. But now you have the exact reverse that's happening, and the only argument that the DA has is that he hadn't hurt anyone yet. Crank Uger from the Young Turks said he since he did not hurt anyone as of yet, they shouldn't have restrained him. Because
that's
that's not
bullshit.
self-defense. Yes, of course it is. Because you don't have to wait till you're shot before you can defend yourself.
Yeah,
you can do it as long as it's imminent. There's the imminence you have to worry about.
So you go into a bank and say, if you don't give me the money, I'm going to kill everyone, and the guard shoots you. It's not self-defense.
That's
what we're arguing.
That's what T.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds like bullshit.
Well, Shank is he's got him and his son got enough to worry about. So it's taken them a while to pick the jury. So I'm surprised that it's taken them this long.
2 people in the jury said that they were attacked in a subway, and this guy has like 40-something attacks in the subway. He broke a woman's nose.
And then I saw. I'm trying to remember the full context. I wish I could remember off the top of my head. But someone was saying about some other situation recently where like someone else was harassing him or whatever, and like, why didn't anyone step in? Why didn't anyone step in? And they just put this guy's picture. This would be why. This would be why people don't step in, because when they do step in, you wind up charging them with shit.
Yeah. So. And they're still also demonizing poor Rittenhouse. He'll never get over the whole because it's funny. I don't know why the left doesn't understand. He was paid to be a security guard at a used car lot. They keep saying that he was there looking for trouble. No.
Well, heck, Nate, there's how many people still think he shot black people?
Yeah, he shot 3 black people. It's like.
Yeah,
and it's
so
like
it's never going away for him.
No matter how many times you correct people, like, no, here is the owner.
He traveled over state lines.
State lines.
So I don't know, but with Daniel Penny, I'm hoping if he's found guilty of manslaughter, that's a tragedy. That wouldn't be justice at all.
Oh no, and people are going to get hurt on the subway going forward. A lot of people are.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah. Penny, to be fair. You could, matter of fact, one of the black women, who right after the attack, right after they wheeled him out, the police didn't arrest him that day because the police said it was obvious self-defense. Because the witnesses there, even like the black people, they were like,
all the people said we were scared.
Yes. We were scared, and he was like we thought he might kill us. So they didn't even arrest him. The DA, after they started protesting in the streets and breaking stuff, that's when the DA mob justice. He said, we're going to take him and do this to him. So that's why it's also important who you vote for, because that's not the right thing to do. So
no, it's very true, and I've said that before. If you guys want to affect things, vote in judges you like and a prosecutor you like. You will change a lot overnight.
That's what's his name? He was so smart. What's the billionaire? Where he was like, look, I'm just gonna buy prosecutors' offices around the country. Soros. That's no matter what you think about Soros, that's a beautiful plan, right?
Yeah.
Affect them where it really matters. Affect them where it really matters. Did you guys hear about what's happening in New Hampshire? The blow up that just happened? Not a blow up in terms of like bomb or anything.
No.
The polls have just flipped for Trump.
Oh, nice.
Trump is leading in New Hampshire the first time in half a century.
Nice. New Hampshire, huh?
New Hampshire.
The Emperor of Mankind. He's reascending to the golden throne.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the tier streams again. They were so good the first time.
Oh, somebody said Nate votes Dems. I love this comment. I just
looked shocked when they do this.
Nate votes Dems, then acts shocked with.
Well, I liked all the people who were saying you're being a white supremacist for defending Daniel Penny. I was like, that's Nate. That's our Nate.
That's right. Well, it's funny because I bet you Trump voted Dem more than I ever voted.
Fair point.
Yeah.
And when you're living in New York, there's nobody else to vote for. They're all Dems.
Yeah, especially when you live in New York City.
Yeah, when you live in New York City, if you're voting for Republicans, you're essentially not voting for anyone.
You're at Staten Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Vote for Dems. Yeah, when they're only Dems on the ballot, you have no choice but to vote for Dems.
Hey, Reagan won New York. It could happen.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
of course, Reagan won 49 states. So
yeah. Except for which one? Minnesota, right?
Yep.
I think
Minnesota. Yeah. See, Minnesota fucks everything up. Minnesota's nothing but problems. Yeah. Alias Unknown says, "Is this pre-recorded?" Yes, this was pre-recorded August 17th, 1989. Yeah, we got really good use of the internet, huh? Carlos Ramirez been a member for 18 months. Said the judge got felted. Yes, he did. Oh, you missed. Did you see all the Yahoos on there at the end, Nate?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, did they do the raid, the Zoom?
Yeah, everybody
they
started
start
talking.
saying things. The judge was trying to find one of them in contempt, and the guy wouldn't shut up long enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you know what? Why don't the court administrators learn how to use Zoom?
I don't know. Yeah,
it's just like a simple thing. Learn how to block people and all that stuff. It's an easy thing to do. And the judge. So hold on. Did the judge hold an internet troll in contempt?
He tried to.
You're lying. You're effing lying.
No, he sure shit wanted to.
He tried to hold an internet troll.
Yeah.
But the guy's name there, or was it just?
Yeah.
Like...
Is your name B. LaRue? No, my name's not B. LaRue.
Seymour.
It's like you're gonna hold a guy out of contempt living in another state. It's not gonna work. He's a judge. He's a boomer judge, and he's just he's
bring him across.
The future's now, old man.
Bring him across state lines.
Yeah. Ammo's Currency has been a member for 6 months. Says they should ask the judge if it was a lawful law.
A lawful law.
Yeah. And Iman Rezi wanted me to rejoin Mr. Sandwich Nerd Man. Kayla's case is already over, so I didn't want to watch. I don't know if they'd let us back in. Muzzy Skeleton gifted 5 subs. Thank you very much. The Sky's a Neighborhood for $1.99 sterling. The King sterling.
You're late.
Says Law Blogger, I'm late. Has the hearing happened? Yes, you missed it. They ran it right away. Mortarus for £2 sterling says, how are they both late and scruffy? I don't know. I don't know.
Who's hearing you guys watching? That was Kayla's?
Well, no, Kayla showed up late for her own thing yesterday, and it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting they didn't make April come on the screen to say she was there. But Kathy Forrest says, "Good to see these 2 handsome men on my screen."
All right.
Well, there you guys go. Yeah, Nate and Kurt. There you go.
I did it before I joined.
Maybe. And if that's the case, Kathy, you need your glasses. Leo DeJarius says, what's the over-under on Baldo getting pink socked by the state's dry 2-foot donkey bad dragon by being antagonizing and dumb? I mean, the more he jerks around, I can see him getting jail time out of it, like local incarceration time, but I'm still believing he walks out of court the day of his sentencing. But he's not helping himself. He's not helping himself. Have you accidentally ever called... Blade 2.0 says, you ever called the judge or jury chat before? No, and I'm actually terrified I might do that one day. Listen, chat. You're like, what? Sorry, Your Honor. Oh, God. And Romeo says, gents, what do you think about the court hallway file for all the Rekieta-related cases, both family and criminal? All these judges and clerks talk. I mean, judges don't normally talk, but yeah, court staff's going to talk, and I bet the Rekietas are a bit of a laughing stock, and among court personnel. But judges don't generally talk too much about their cases.
Yeah, but the court staff, they talk.
The court staff 100%.
And they love
court
it.
Administrators are going to say these people come in and they're screaming like, oh gosh, by golly, they're being real meanies out there.
And they'll tell you too who they're going to give it. Like this, hey, listen. They'll say, listen, Mr. State Prosecutor, we're going to give this guy a hard time. I'm like, why? Why on this case? I wanted to get out of here. Because he's an asshole. So it's taking us a little longer to get him up. I'm like, gosh, that
does happen. Right. And then,
oh yeah,
Birdman for thinking of the big timers. April had mail sent to Nick's insurance. Had April had mail sent to Nick's. And an insurance check per Aaron. Does this establish that she lives there? I mean, I would argue, if you're receiving mail and car insurance and basic correspondence, when the police raid a drug house, they always take a bunch of mail with them and they go scan it to figure out who's there. And without opening it, they'll just, mail is an evidence exhibit, a bunch of bills and credit card statements. And you get mail where you live, but typically.
Right now, does she still live with Aaron, technically? Or
no, she's out. She's been out.
So her divorce
They've been divorced. Yeah, well, she was using a P.O. box, but apparently stuff is going to Nick's house. So she's playing games.
That's going to be big, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. That's how it kind of defeats the whole... That's a problem for April, is they're going to say, well, you're receiving mail. What's your address? Where do you live currently? Here you're hanging out in Nick's house. I guess you live there. That really was your coke. Those are things that are going to burn her.
Yeah.
Duncan Adams says, "Oh no, go ahead."
No, I'm saying they didn't drop any of the charges. Sometimes they'll drop like the child endangerment charges.
Yeah,
like that, but they haven't dropped it, have they? Or it's
nope.
Still there?
Everything is still fair game.
Yeah.
Duncan Ido says, "Bro, can the court please figure out how to mute observers by default? Familiarize yourself with the tech before jumping in face first."
We just said that.
Dude, courts suck with tech.
Yeah.
Really, more importantly, look at your judge, and they'll tell you a lot to know how tech savvy that courtroom's going to be. And when they look like an old crusty boomer, they're going to be old crusty boomers generally.
But there are the old crusty boomers who hire young staff who knows. Because and it makes everybody's life easier. So.
And there are some old crusty boomers who are on top of it. They know all about it.
That's true too. Because I remember going to a courtroom one time. I was like, it's going to be one of those. But he was on it. He had it was like it was tech was great. So
yes. Malcolm X for $7.99 Australian dollars in dollary dues says, "How much does it hurt April's argument she was a guest in the Baldo bunker when she's now streamed every court appearance from the bunker?" I think that's a big problem for her. It's a very big problem. You could stream from your cell phone. Like, you can fire up Zoom on your cell phone. Like, I've had clients do it all the time. That's not an uncommon thing. Why do you need this special streaming setup? Like, that's a bad look for April. It's a bad look for April.
Yeah, to be in this house at that time too.
Yes,
but she's not even. But all right, maybe I'm missing it. If she lives, I'm thinking if she lives. Well, if she lives there, it hurts because it's going to be harder for her to deny the coke. But then she could challenge the search if she. So there's like pluses and minuses to both.
But I think they're stupid and they're trying to. They think they're going to be able to like run outside of like they're going to ollie oxid free both cases, and then the prosecutor's going to go, "Damn, we can't do anything." I think they think they have a master plan.
Yeah, I don't think it's not working though. It's not working.
Yeah, it's just like Mr. Burns. He's like, "I've got the spruce goose," and he's like, "Smithers, get in."
But sir, this is only a model.
Yes.
Did you read that last super chat?
Yes, we did. We got to this one.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you for checking. You got felted. Says maybe it was the Omnibus and friends we made along the way. I think so. I think it's a very true words in urban spoken. Then anime sucks Copit's knee for £10 sterling. The King Sterling says, "I haven't seen April in a long time." Then she's in his studio for court. Lol. Yep. Those are statements can be used against Nick.
Well,
you said it repeatedly. He says it all the time.
Oh, is she pregnant? Because I remember somebody was saying,
I don't think
there was some Twitter rumors that she was pregnant.
They say that. I don't think so.
What the hell is going on?
That would be absolutely hilarious. That would be like.
That would be.
Then it really is like you just have to change the scene from their palatial house to a trailer park, and it would work. Although that's a lot of coke to be using in a trailer park. Like that's fancy trailer park.
Oh yeah.
It'd be Chateau Estates.
Hey, did you guys see Nick's last stream? That last stream he did?
Yeah.
He looked kind of coked out to me.
His pupils were so dilated. I thought they were going to implode on themselves.
Yeah, he looked. You remember the stream he did when he first came back? How good he looked. He looked, but this one he looked rough. I just hope he's not spiraling back down because
I guarantee you he is spiraling.
Yeah, I hope he's not.
He's running around screaming nerd and blocking and fighting everybody. I mean, oh yeah. He's definitely his cheese is sliding right off the cracker.
Yeah.
Well. Malcolm X says also for $7.99 Australian dollar dues. Why did April get to zoom in, but Kayla had to show up for court when they're both at Nick's house, a short drive from the court? How's that work? No. Maybe because April's offenses were low level enough. I mean, April's are pretty serious.
No, you mean the opposite. It was Kayla's that are serious. April's are the lower one.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, I said it the wrong way around. Yeah. Maybe Kayla's were high enough. I mean, I don't know. The judge sets the hearings. And sometimes you get to petition the court. Hey, can we do it all virtual?
Yeah.
Not sure. Fair Frozen says, think these interviews are taped, maybe released.
Certainly.
Yeah, well, they're probably all recorded, but
yeah. Oh, yeah, they're going to be body cammed.
What's going on with the body cam footage? Why hasn't that hit out yet?
I think
if I remember reading the law correctly, it's held until the case is.
Yeah, there's some protections on it
until there's an as long as there's an investigation. So until the case is actually presented. So
yeah. Hypnotoad says, real question is, what are the odds there will be a Baldo on the body cam footage? I bet pretty high because they're going to be able to search. I mean, the Baldo can go in a lot of places and drugs can go in those same places. So at some point we'll see it. The cop will just reach in there, pick it up and go like, ugh, and throw it on the ground like it's a spider.
What? Somebody in the chat just went crazy. Nate, his DM revealed he paid to abort a baby he had with a Jamaican blank.
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
is that real?
Yes.
Hold on.
So here's what happened.
Can you pull up that so people can see I just didn't make that up? Because I wouldn't know why thinking that like Nate just pulled.
No. Well, here I can do you one better. I can pull up the actual tweet.
This is crazy. This is real. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. There's a whole thing. So Nick had been messaging Kalia, one of his mods, and kind of like, what you call what do you call a confidant?
Oh, it's like
yeah, I call it confidant.
Oh man.
So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Here we go. This is. I'll pull it off, and this isn't the best quality here, but this is from Nick Rekieta Law.
All right.
And they say, there's, all the allegations where they got all freaky deaky at the resort and all that. So here we go. So he says, what I allowed to happen at the resort. And that's also when he talks about the two guys, it's the two,
the guys that they
big burly black dudes. Yeah. That he was following. And he said, one, because they're really nice. And he says, we follow them because they're really nice. And two, because we didn't fuck them. Okay, sure.
Okay, yeah.
And then he says, 3, one of the female dancers who we really liked got pregnant, which meant as soon as management found out, she was going to be fired.
Wow.
We were trying to contact info to discreetly give her $1,000 for medical expenses because that goes a long fucking way in Jamaica.
What kind of medical expenses?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's medical. Like, was it really medical expenses or was it this a fucking scam and Nick's a dope? Oh, she's pregnant. We need help. Okay, here's money. Like, it's a hustle. I guarantee you they try this with every group of white people they deal with down there that come down for the swinging. I mean, I really doubt, there really there was no pregnancy because it's like this after the fact.
Yeah,
it's just $1,000 is a very convenient amount of money too.
Well, but he sent the money, huh? He said,
he says he sent the money. Now he could be lying and was trying to make an argument that made it sound sympathetic, and now he just sounds like an idiot. So he says, so I reached out to some of the male dancers who I talked to about anime and cooking, which, I'm at like, yes, it's still
I thought Nick didn't like nerds.
We're praising Jesus. And
he's at hedonism too, talking about anime.
My bigger thing is, and, they're talking to these big strapping black dudes and, they're like, I mean, you can, these big, like, I'll use the term, these big mandingo black guys, and they're out there like dancing with the white women and all this, and Nick's just sitting there drinking a pop. It's like, so you guys like anime? Cool, I like anime. You guys like cooking food? As they're like,
what do you think the most popular anime in Jamaica is?
They're railing some guy's wife, and Nick's just like, so you guys like anime?
Well, the thing I would be more interested in is that I thought they had free healthcare. I thought they had universal healthcare in Jamaica.
Oh, yeah, but I think abortion is illegal in Jamaica.
It's illegal?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know what? To get scammed like that, I think 2 things would have to happen. Unless you just like the person. It's like, oh, you got pregnant by some other guy. I'll just help you out. Yeah. Unless it's like, I banged you.
Yeah.
And you need some help to get my baby. I don't know.
Yeah, which I doubt was the case. I doubt that was it. I really doubt that Nick. I really doubt that Nick was involved in eliminating a, mixed race baby in Jamaica. I really doubt it. I doubt there was a. I doubt there was a. There wasn't going to. What?
I said, say it.
There wasn't going to be a mulatto Rekieta running around in the story plot. I don't think it was.
I really wish you hadn't said it now, but thanks.
Like, wow. I really don't think there was no baby. It was all a scam because notice they never got in contact with her, and the money, it all worked out. We gave them money and everything was fine. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like it's. I think they got hustled for $1, and they're like, oh, Mr. Rekieta, Mr. Nick. Remember we talked about anime? Oh, I remember you guys. Yeah.
Hey, this girl just got pregnant. They're about to fire her. She needs $1,000 for abortion. Yeah. No problem. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's born on like that. Who knows? Maybe he just has the money to, dev out.
Sure, he does.
Why would that was a Christian man? I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, why would you tell anybody about this? Why would you say this? Why would you tell the story?
Because you're coked out of your mind and you don't know what you're saying. That's why. I'll answer that question.
Yes. Abortion is absolutely 100% illegal in Jamaica.
All right.
Yeah, it sounded like a scam. I'm sure they do this with every group. And I'm sure the female dancer was like, it's just like when you go to Hooters or you go to the strip club, you're like, oh, thanks, honey. How you doing? Can I get that pop for you? She really doesn't like you. She's just being nice and flirty to get money out of you, and like that's her job. And Nick's like, oh, well, one of the dancers we really liked, she didn't really like you. She didn't really like you, my dude.
Damn.
It's just, yeah. So Tim is saying, when is the hearing? The hearing's already over. We're coming back January 22nd. So
after Christmas, let's give people after Christmas to do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, anyways, that's the issue there. You learned about the oh my God, these messages were so bad last night.
I can just imagine
it. They were hilarious to read, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh my God.
Do you think Nick comes back from this?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're like, I know he says like, I never said all these things. It's never been a launch channel. Like, what do you do? Where do you go? Like, you could come back, but what are you coming back to?
Isn't his motto literally lost planning the interwebs?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
but it's never been a law channel.
But what do you come back to, I guess, is the issue.
Well, two things. Nick's followers, I don't think are they're a group who is anti-cancel culture and the anti.
Sure.
So I think it allows him to get away with more. I think the problem that he would get into is the dishonesty with the audience. Mm-hmm. So he'd probably have to, because he got caught. I mean, you get caught being dishonest with the audience, and it's harder to come back after that. Mm-hmm. So, and as you see, a sub count hasn't really tanked. So it seems like people
done a lot.
Yeah, but it hasn't tanked. Like
but most people don't go back and like actually unsubscribe from things. I mean, nobody really I don't really have 23,000 people. Like a lot of people probably subscribed and just like screwed off. Because I do that too on channels. I subscribe. Oh, it's cool. But I never ever go back again.
Yeah. That's true. And right now I think a lot of people will stay for the madness because that.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, a lot of people are gonna watch for the crash, but
and what happened to his boy Vic Mignola? Because I know Vic he lost Vic too, right?
Vic kind of washes hands on him at this point.
Yeah. Well, he did cost Vic $300K, so I see why. Yeah. He should have washed his hands when they had to cut that check.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother issue. So, yeah, but there you go, Nate. Now you know the story about that.
I wish I didn't know, but it's still so. It's funny because it's so. Nick's whole situation is just so fascinating. Yeah. But Nick, if you're watching, see if you can get a plea. Call it a day. You could end all this probably as soon as possible. That's even if the state is offering a plea because they could be pissed off.
Well, they might not be at this
point.
I
mean, but the plea might be just the indictment now, and then we'll argue sentence.
Which will suck.
Well, yeah. You play these games. These games aren't free.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, but yes, you should, Nick. You really should look at taking a plea, man. I mean, especially when you start going on and about how your attorney sucks and didn't do stuff right. Like, it's like, dude, or get a new attorney.
So is it true? Because so this was somebody told me the other day.
Yeah.
Is it true that Nick's attorney was someone from the locals page? Someone from Barnes locals page? And...
Yes, and was following Nick before on Twitter. Yeah. Yeah, he's like a Barnes. Like, I don't know if it's an affiliate or just somebody who follows Barnes. Yeah, that's why they call him the Barnes Walker.
Oh, so that's why all right. So now I see why Barnes was probably even mad that we were.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
because it was
assaulting any of that as an assault on him.
Oh.
Barnes is an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the assault on him. I don't need to do it by proxy. I'll just do it directly.
Yeah. Well, I just, every time it's like him and Viva say confession by projection, he says all these things about Thailand. It's like, makes you think. I'm just saying, I'm just going by his own words. You confession through projection. Like,
I like how recently they said something about the Nick case and they were like, hey, we didn't think any of the stuff would work.
Yeah, we knew it was long shots anyway.
Like bull crap. You would tell everybody this was black letter law. He was supposed to win, and we're all dummies for saying it was dumb. But it is what it is.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Nice job, Kurt.
Respect, Kurt. Respect.
Yeah.
Mr. It's unattackable. You took a lot of heat for that when you said it.
Yeah, but I was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I
said it because it was pretty good legal analysis.
Yes, I generally agree that things are very much unassailable. But even then, I always just remember the Bismarck's still at the bottom of the ocean, and people thought that wasn't you couldn't sink that. So there's always like a non-0% chance. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
Strange things can happen. That's fair.
Yeah.
So do you think we go to year 2 with this? This is going to go because we're at year 1. So this is episode 1.
We're gonna have season 2. Yeah,
season 2, right?
I mean, I would imagine that the state would be looking to consolidate this at some point. So I definitely don't think they want to run the same trial 3 times. So
yeah,
I would be surprised if they don't consolidate this, which means they can't do this trial any earlier than all these omnibuses are resolved, so they can try to move to consolidate.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you can consolidate April's case though.
I mean, there's enough of a difference there because not all the drugs are hers at that point.
Yeah, because they didn't charge her with the same.
Yeah, because she's got a different amount of drugs, so I would argue that's probably going to be very prejudicial for her anyway.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
And also, I'd argue there's some Bruton issues. Like they could all start like Nick and Kayla. You could assume they might stick it out together, but how do you know Kayla doesn't turn around and say it's that bitch? It's her fault. And now you've got Bruton.
That's also a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, they're just going to fight. I mean, that'll happen too. Like, I'm surprised we not had the police call out for possible domestic disturbance arc yet.
That's going to be
that usually happens in these situations.
Yeah. Well, eventually, I think we're putting off the inevitable. Somebody's going to have to cop to the coke.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Somebody has to cop to the coke, and
I'm not really sure I see that happening.
I don't
given
either,
where we're going.
I get what you're saying, Nate. Yeah, someone's gonna have to own up, but nobody wants to pony up when the rent comes due,
or get convicted of it.
Yeah,
but that coke was there, and it's in the books. Somebody's gonna have to take something for that coke. Either they're gonna say it was my coke, or they're gonna go to jail for it.
I think though they are going to screw up their understanding of game theory. They're going to screw it up, and they're accidentally going to hang themselves altogether.
That's pretty funny.
Game theory, huh?
Yeah, they're like prisoner. They're going to prisoner dilemma it, and then they're going to be like, "But I learned about super rationality," and it's like, "Did you really?" Because I learned like, it was interesting knowing all that. I took my negotiations class, like you learn some of that game theory, and it's like, there's, but I know what you want me to, they're just gonna, it's not gonna go well. They're not sending their best.
No.
So, but anyways, go ahead, Nate.
No, I'll say this at the end of the day, the things that I'm happy most about this particular case is that number one, we were right. We were all right. Because at a point I was like, have I lost it that much? Am I really that wrong? This guy's calling me an idiot saying I don't know anything about the law. We were right. That's the one thing. But number two, being your own lawyer is dangerous. And I think Nick is finding that out now. I know he's saying he didn't write the stuff. He didn't do all that. But I think this case the way those motions have been written and these legal arguments makes me think that Nick was playing his own lawyer, especially with that Frank Hearing stuff.
Oh, I do.
You couldn't convince me that and I think playing your own lawyers in, because I think if you have somebody who you pay and who you say, figure it out for me, that is going to get you a different perspective. And I think that's the problem with Nick. Nick is taking it as, because that's what he said at the beginning, right? I'm my own lawyer. I'm representing my wife and I'm representing April because he tried to control everything. But now I think he needs to realize that this is now serious. And the end, and that's a lot of times with defendants. Defendants can't see the end. They can just see the now. Now I'm fighting, but the end is coming. And I think Nick has to realize the end is not good. And if you can get what you can get out of this now, and I think you got to try to get some reasonable deal. Nick, if you're listening to this, try to get some reasonable deal. Go start talking to these prosecutors. You need to get out of this. You're headed to a travesty.
That's well said. Well said.
He's not going to listen to me though.
No, I know. He's going to just be like...
Oh, full disclosure, everybody, too. Yeah. I have been texting with Nick, not now though, but I have talked to Nick and been texting with Nick. So yes, but I tell him the same thing I'm telling you guys, the same thing I'm telling him. It's not different. He knows the way I feel about the case.
So
it's a dead simple case.
Yeah, it is very simple.
I could prosecute. I've never been a prosecutor. I'm pretty sure I could prosecute it in my sleep.
Yeah.
This is a one-day trial, right? So literally,
it's going to take him longer to pick a jury than it will to. Well, presuming they have to pick 12 people, it'll take them longer to pick a jury and then try the case.
Does he? Oh, so you guys have a 12-person state? Because some states are 6.
Yeah. Yep. Ohio's 12 for felonies.
So if that's the case, does he take the stand?
I hope to God. Okay, so the lawyer in me says, "I hope to God no," but the guy who's going to be streaming it, I hope to God yes. I mean, I'll be willing to admit.
If this goes to trial, I might actually go up there in person. I suggest you guys come with me.
Yeah,
we'll have some barbecue outside the courthouse. It'll be great.
Oh, God, it'll be like tailgating outside the courthouse.
One of you guys can make some funnel cakes. I'll make some hot dogs.
Well, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to go to Stoney's Bar and Grill. I'm gonna go.
Oh no, got to go to Stoney's, man. $2.
I'm gonna set up there. It'll be like.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's ask the chat. Chat, give us a 1 if you think Nick will testify, and give us a 2 in the chat if you think Nick will not testify.
Oh,
I'm saying I think his ego is not going to allow him not to testify.
Yeah, he can't.
Because what other witnesses does he have? Unless he's not going to put in the case.
No,
he's going to call his wife. He's going to call April.
Yeah,
he can't call any of those people. He can't call any of those people because those people are the 5th.
Yes. So who do you call? You can't call. You call. Everybody saying he's going to take the stand.
Yeah,
your chat is insane. They believe Nick Rekieta, if he goes in trial, is taking the stand. Oh my God!
I think he will. He can't not. He thinks he's going to be able to walk in there and he's going to have a tough time because he can't sit there and nervously eat food while he's talking. So he's going to have to sit there and just...
crazy. That would be crazy if he takes the stand.
Yeah, he's going to do it. I'd put money on it if he goes to trial.
Well, listen, guys, this was a fantastic stream.
Yes.
I gotta go. I gotta go feed some children now. Not cocaine, people.
Not SpaghettiOs.
Yes, yeah. But I have to feed them normal food.
Oh, it's 5:30 already. Holy cow.
Oh yeah. It's
4:30 here in Texas.
4:30 here in Texas. So
yeah, but
my kids just got home from school. So, but listen, this was definitely a great stream. Yeah. So next time we got another one. Just let me know. I'll be back with Uncivil and Uncivil. Yeah. You cannot make these crazy predictions like it's unattackable and have us sitting there looking like fools or.
When I get it wrong, let me know, and then maybe I'll tone it down.
Yes. Hey, Sean. If I'll say this too. If I hear your name one more time, every time somebody talks to me about Nick, they always bring up Sean.
Yes.
You have become synonymous with this. I want to hear what Sean's got to say. I'm like, you don't want to hear what I got to say. You want to hear what he's got to say. So this is your baby now, bro. This is just your baby. So.
I know. I don't know if I want this baby, but unlike I will care for this baby. I will nurture it and let it grow. I won't neglect it.
Well, with that being said, I'll see you guys a little later. All right. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Bye, Nate. Take care, guys. Nate the Lawyer, guys. You'll see him here on YouTube. You guys know where to find him. Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll name him Baby Nate. That's the baby. It's my baby now. We'll name him Nate.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to some $2 beers at Stoney's.
Yeah. I know. That's you got the patio and everything.
At $2, I'll even buy the first round for the chat.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. I'll buy the first round for the
I can't get you calls April Anderson's Omnibus, can I? Well, I mean, she's listed in her court documents. That's her government name.
That is her name now. It was correct. It was changed as the result of her divorce. That is her name. So
yeah, I mean, is she officially April Anderson? Because it says in the court docs. Okay.
Yeah, I'll fix it for you. Divorce decree.
I'll do it.
I read it.
I got you. Okay. We'll take a look at it. We'll figure it out. At least I'm not calling it Imholte, Aaron. I mean, give me the credit there. All right, guys. So we got some super chats we got to finish up on here real quick. Zachary Nijseman or Nijhoseman. Sounds very Dutch. I have asked 2 friends from Jamaica what resort they would go to if they were swingers. They both instantly said Hito 2 by name. Nick wanted to get caught. Yeah, well, Hito 2 is not exactly like a quiet secret. The range says for Junior Soprano voice. Yeah. Nick Rekieta never had the markings of a varsity athlete. Oh, yes. Bad Weather Biker says you need to make a Hitler downfall video with Nick's DMs as the subtitles. That would be hilarious. I got to figure out if somebody can do it. Somebody's got to be able to do it. On the farms, you're out there, you can do that. Matt Stuffer for £5 a fiver right there saying, Sean, what do you think of 2 loaves for your gang name? You got 2 loaves. Just like 2 phones. JWT 6577. So there are that many JWTs out there. Interesting. It's because some people in power's goal was never fixing things. It was destroying everything. I don't disagree with you there. Then Myra for 50 Swedish krona. Because kroner is the plural, I learned yesterday. Thanks for the stream, nerds. Free Daniel Penny, yes.
Kroner is the plural?
It's kroner is the plural, yeah. Krona is the singular.
Okay, fair enough. You're right.
Yes. Hunting Hero says Reagan also lost DC in addition to Minnesota. Yeah, yes. But there's no vote there. It doesn't matter.
But DC is. DC has a vote in the Electoral College for president.
They do. Yeah, they do. Sorry. Yes. Yes, they just don't have a seat in Congress that they.
There was a constitutional amendment over it and everything.
Sean. Yes, I forgot. I mixed up their seat in Congress. Mr. Pyro 96 says for £5. A lot of British people today. Nate is a black face of white supremacy. Yes, he is. And then Snoop STP is a member. Thank you for the support. Examin for a single toonie says Nick's holes will look like pumpkin pie. Oh, God. That's hold on here. I got a text from my dad. I'll have to call him later in a minute. Nick's also look like pumpkin pie. Oh no, that's rough. And then Sigrun Eterna says, "Is it possible Nick goes on trial and he's just so obnoxious the judge gives him prison time for being a prick?" I mean, like I said, it's never that. It's not a trial tax. It's the judge finds out you're a dickhead tax. So yeah, he could get not prison time, but the judge could say like, "Here, 90 days jail." Then you start probation. Have fun. Very real possibility if he acts.
Yeah, that's something like that. Something that's plausible.
Yeah, and then Morderess for another £5 Saw you yesterday. Thank you for coming back. Says so funny. Nick thought that the person in court today was from the farms.
I mean, it's a pretty reasonable bet. That's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Romeo says, has anyone told Nick's attorney Francis that Nick said he was incompetent with the video clip from the locals? No, but a lot of attorneys get told they're incompetent or you suck by their client. That's not uncommon. And then Spasticus Autisticus for $5 says, a while ago, some farmers found out April's P.O. box was used by Rekieta law before it was dissolved. Could that be relevant to the case? Well, that's another thing to show they're living together. That's another step to show that this is all bullshit by Nick. So yes, it's not going to help. The Pie Baker says, Sean, do your guests know that they're on the stream of a hard R nerd? I don't know, Kurt.
Yeah, I mean, that's readily apparent.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go with that. All right. Duncan Idaho says, a guaranteed income is a coke fiend's worst enemy. Yes, it is. And Let's Go Brandy, who's been a member for 12 months, says, Nate wants to know where the wild Baldo goes. I don't know if he wants to know that bad. The 200-watt studio says Sailor Chocolate. Tim the Tool says, where's the hearing? Well, we already had it, but yes, you can see it at the beginning. They started a little early, too.
It was just for the purpose of setting a date. So
yeah,
January 15th, I think they said, or 21st. 22nd.
Yeah.
One of those dates.
Yes, but everybody jerking around on stream was hilarious. It
was pretty cringe to me.
Well, you gotta, if you can't laugh at life, I mean, that's why I'm never gonna let chat know where I'm going to court if there's any, Zoom things.
Safe.
Where's Sean? We can't super chat you. What the hell? Mr. Martin, what are they talking about, Your Honor? I don't know. That's a shame. Says, I've drawn the diagram of the prisoner's dilemma for a client before. LOL. So have I. LPR, Libertarian Podcast Review. Tyler Yonke, how you doing? Says, feels like I'm watching Revenge of the Nerds bootlicking too. Wilder is saying a Warhammer 4K miniature painting stream when? At some point, I'll work on that. I gotta get it. I gotta work through the models first, and then we'll start doing minis. I gotta work up the courage to do it. Sir Marhouse for $4.99 says, Sean, why did I move to England, Sean? Why did I make such a terrible decision, Sean? How do I get out of this hellhole, Sean? Answer the question, Sean. I don't know, but good luck. Good luck to you. Hope it's going okay over there, although it doesn't sound like it. Yeah. Oh. Patrick says, just do it by the minis. I know somebody who could print me some, so I'll do that. Yes, that's a shame. This is right. This is a true saying. Nobody talks, everybody walks. That's very true. Very, very, very true. So, there's no prisoner's dilemma if you have no accomplices. Well, that too. Paul Dunn says, if he finds out how to leave, let me know, because I'm a British person. Well, you're losing weight because of the food? Oh, no. That sucks. Well, guys, with that, yeah, April is, that turned out to be not eventful for the most part, and quit fucking up shit on these hearings, guys, please. That just means we're never going to get to these hearings if you guys start screwing around on them. It makes it really hard for us to get access to them in the future. Because the court just says no one's allowed in on the internet. So please don't be those guys going forward. Will there be a stream tonight? Yes, there will be. We're a month out. We're a week out from the election, and we're going to get going from there. So, yeah. So, Anna, hope you're here, Anna. Hope you enjoyed it. So, yes, April was omnifaulted at the Omnibus. Yes. Atlanta has an active shooter on a balcony. Well, not surprised.
Hopefully not for long.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's somebody in Atlanta's always shooting. Mr. Sen, how you doing? It says, always eventful when you have actual good lawyers giving legal insight. Well, thank you. So, with that, guys, we're landing the plane. Kurt, you got anything else you want to say?
Nope.
When he's streaming again, do you know yet?
Doing edited videos right now. I posted one today about the Garth Brooks situation. And I recorded one yesterday about the Sarah Boone closing arguments. And I'm probably going to record today at some point about the Copyright Office granting an exemption, a DMCA exemption for the McFlurry machines, we may finally get our repaired machines at McDonald's at last.
Really?
We may no longer have broken machines at McDonald's. The copyright office has stepped in.
Oh,
Glory.
wow. Yeah, because those are
no.
protected under copyright.
Now they're not.
Yeah, but they were. That's why. And there was only one company allowed to fix them.
Yes.
And it was part of a lawsuit. So
yeah, I think they said the Copyright Office granted an exemption to the DMCA. So McFlurries may be on the menu again, boys.
Do they have the authority to do that?
Yes, they do. Under the DMCA,
okay.
They can grant exemptions for certain purposes, and they have in the past.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for right to repair reasons. It's not the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. So yeah, apparently you'll get your McFlurries back. With that said, guys, take care, and we'll see you until the next time. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, unless you're April, and yeah, you're probably gonna go down for this at some point. So, yeah. Anyways, take care, chat. Bye, everybody. Thank you again, Greg, for being here. I appreciate it.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rekieta yelled at?